That was a nice break. I wonder how long I was playing Fortnite. Oh crap, I've been playing for 6 months. Here's Nergigante download. His largest, his smallest, and he's currently only found in the Elder's Recess. He's weakest against thunder, followed by dragon, ice, water, and fire are both all 1 star. Paralysis, sleep, poison, blast, and stun are all 2. You can break his horns and his tail. Breaking his horns and his tail will allow you to get gems. Gems are important for when you're fighting. Here's some tracks so you know how to track them. He mostly just leaves behind footprints and spikes. He'll occasionally leave behind a dead enemy or 2, but nothing really is too superb. There's a good looking footprint. But before you get into a fight, you always gotta remember to start the quest off right. I'm gonna show you his optional quest. It's called the Eater of Elders. I can't say the story quest because I've already done it. My bad. I recommend you start in Camp 16 because you'll be right next to a spawn zone. Unless you're doing it for the storyline purposes, then it's just gonna throw you into a fight with him anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And as always, here's the Mouster Chef doing his thing because he's a wonderful, wonderful kitty cat and he makes delicious food. Food. Anyway, back to the fight. So, before you start the battle, I recommend going into your tent. For all you tall people, watch out, low bridge. Get all the items you will find necessary. Make sure you got your potions, your life powder, your demon powder, your hard shell powder. Cough, cough, need it. You're gonna. And grab some bombs, because I have a fun little trick about breaking some horns off of them. Make sure everything's nice and organized before you go. Now, your equipment. Make sure you got good equipment equipped. I recommend a heal spray and a vitality mantle of some sort. If you got a better one, use a better one. Get your best armor, your best weapons. Now, when you get into the camp, you're going to take the exit out of the camp and you're going to take a left. You're going to crawl through this here tiny hole and bam, there he is, right in front of you. Now, you get 50 minutes to do this fight. I recommend you take all 50 minutes if necessary. I kill him in about 13 minutes and 58 seconds. So that leaves about 30 something minutes for you to dodge. Dodging's very important. I want you to pretend you're Gohan and I'm Mr. Pickle. And you're gonna dodge, 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 dodge. Unless you're a high rank and you got really high good armor. Preferably rarity 8. And then you can just waylay like a madman. Because that's just how I roll. Now, once more, my preferred method is to mount the beast. Because it can't hurt me from the top of him. It's also a good way to wear down his spikes. Wearing down his spikes is the key to this fight. The more spikes he has, the more dangerous he is. If you note, the spikes are growing pretty quickly. This can be a problem. You also got to remember to work on his tail. It's very crucial if you're farming him for a gem. Now, if you watch real careful like, here in a second, his spikes will start to darken after this here Superman fist. You're going to dodge around, attack him, all that good jazz. Work on his tail. Now, when I pan back over, you'll notice that his wing's about to go dark, and so will his head. That's how you know he's getting close to his super move. But you got to pay attention because it happens in the blink. It happens with the quickness. See, there he is over there fighting the cat. Make sure you heal up, drink all your curatives and whatnot. That wing went dark, his head went dark. Now watch, his other wing's gonna go dark. It happens pretty quick, but it's a transition. That's how you know he's getting close. Once you see him start getting close to his super move you want to throw on your mantle. Protects your health a little bit. He won't do his super move until all of his spikes are blackened. So you have a little bit of time. Keep wailing on him, working on the spikes, working on the tail. Here's his super move. Make sure you dodge that sucker. Unlike me, I have gone good armor, so it doesn't really hurt. If this is your first fight with him, that is a one-hitter quitter. He will knock you night-night. But notice, all of his spikes are gone after his super move. He only does the super move when he's covered in dark spikes. Other than that, it's just a matter of dodging them. If you are a hammer user or a gun lance user, you are basically the only two types of weapons that can break his horns. If you break his horns, it'll make life easier for other people. If you attack him and accidentally hit his horns, it'll deflect your blade because blades don't go through them horns. At least not easily. As you can see, his spikes will grow back at a particularly alarming rate. Faster than I would like to admit. But with my method, I'm somewhere safe and we can just work on the spikes from the comfort of his spinal cord. And if you work on them enough, they break, which prevents him from doing a super move. That's a very important thing. But after you work on him enough, he'll get tired of fighting you in one zone and run off to fight you in a different zone. He'll typically let off a little roar with it, trying to be all scary and whatnot. Like that. After you chase him down to his next zone, I'm sorry I cut out the 3 seconds of chase time, but I figured you didn't want to see me chasing a monster, you wanted to see me fight the monster. Oh, and if you notice, my Kinsect is a blue spirit dragon thing. That's because I got it from the current event, which is a collaboration with Final Fantasy. I'm currently wearing the Behemoth armor with the Final Fantasy glaive and the Final Fantasy Kinsect, which is called the Dragon Soul, or if you upgrade it, the True Dragon Soul. If you'd like to see me make a Monster Hunter video on me fighting that there Behemoth, the legendary beast, leave it down in the comments and I will be happy to oblige you. Although I'm going to warn you, it's a painstaking process. It was quite literally 10 days of grueling defeat before my first victory. Anyway, back to Spiky. As I previously stated, you're going to want to work on that tail. You're going to need to work it like a hooker on a pole. Always go for the tail. Heal up when you can. It's important to watch your health. Don't let it drop too low, especially if he's doing good damage to you. Just keep on working on him, and you'll get it. Remember, you have plenty of time to dodge and pick your attacks carefully. But as long as you pick your attacks carefully, and you work on the necessary parts, mainly parts with spikes, you'll get your prize. Also, don't do what I did and forget to collect that tail. Please, collect that tail. It's a good chance of getting you a gem. Gems are important for making his armor. Now, normally I would say you can't out-aggress this aggressor. But if you're wearing his armor, or armor of that caliber, you can do like me and aggress the aggressor. If you don't have on good armor, at least rarity 7, preferably rarity 8, don't try. Take your time. Use the teachings of Mr. Piccolo and dodge. Because he's gonna hurt and it's gonna suck. Now, if you notice, I mounted him right next to that kitty cat that said if you mount him right here, we'll help you catch it. And he's not helping me catch it. That's because the indigenous kitty cats don't trap elder dragons. Surprise, surprise. So, don't rely on them for help, especially in the Elder's Recess. But as long as you keep hammering on him, he'll eventually get tired of fighting you where he's at, and he'll move to a different location. He might give you a lumping or two first, but he'll eventually move on to a greener pasture. I like seeing if I can get him to go down into Section 8 where they have the fallen boulders, for reasons you can probably guess. Don't let the Superman punch get you either, because that's pretty painful. Now, like I said, normally when he's about to change zones, he'll let you know, nice and vocal-like. He'll give off a nice little roar. But anytime you knock him down, try to concentrate on his arms if they got spikes. That's one of the best times to hit his arms. Yep, see, there he goes, getting ready to change zones again. Let him run off, do his thing, you know, whatever. Grab some stones, something you can shoot out of your slinger. There's usually something laying around. You might have brought something with you for all I know. But you can get them with these here fallen boulders. All you gotta do is boop. And there you go. Just like with the fire chicken. And then continue your process of breaking spikes and hitting weak points. Right there. See how I hit that horn and it deflected my weapon? That's why you need either a hammer on your team or a gun lance to get rid of them horns. Or a little trick I'm going to show you here later. But anyway, just keep fighting them. If you're like me, you're probably a mad glaive user and like to fly through the air like some kind of soaring, beautiful, majestic thing. But if you're not, just try to dodge those super fists and his one-hitter quitter moves and let him run on to somewhere else. Now, I'm going to cut out the part where I chase him through 2 different zones and just go straight to the point where I sharpen my weapon. Always remember to sharpen your weapon. It's very important. You can chase him back to his home zone where he's going to take a nap. It's a good strategy to let him fall asleep. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Dolly, why would you let him fall asleep? He's going to heal. You're not going to let him sleep. That's the whole point, though. After you let him run back into his zone, he's going to lay down. See how he tucks himself in? Now, you just got to stroll up on in there like it's nobody's business. And going back to them bombs I had you pick up, put one by his face. If you can, put one on his face. And then get a nice little distance away and set him off. Give him a good little wake-up call. Now, after you've done that, he's going to get angry. And once he reaches a certain point health-wise, he's going to decide that he no longer likes one of 2 walls. And then he's going to do his super move on a wall. This means he's getting low on health. And that your fight is almost over. But he's going to come back covered in spikes. So get ready. Now what you want to do, like I said, is work on those spikes. Try to break at least one set of them. So as he can't do his super move while you're in this tiny confined area. It's even harder to dodge here than the other places. But as long as you keep on working at him, keep on stabbing him with every blade you got or whatever, he's going to die eventually. And that's how you do it. It's just, if you're low on armors and things, you got to learn how to dodge. You got to. Dodging is the key to beating him the first time. Don't let him hit you very much or he's going to mess up your day. Anyway, if you like this video, I'm glad you liked it. It took me a minute to make it. I'm sorry I got lost in the Fortnite madness for 6 months. My bad. Now, if you're high rank, you have lots of armor, just beat the tar out of him. Get underneath his neck, preferably like between his arms, underneath his belly. Because that's the best place where you can hit multiple weak points. Give him a good clobber donking. And then you'll get your quest completed and you'll feel like a boss. Now, as you see, I beat him in 13 minutes, 58 seconds. I'm going to collect my rewards. Now, I'm going to give you a clue about my next video I have an idea for, alright? So, here's your clue. It's in the Coral Highlands. And you gotta kill this monster to get this here glider mantle. Because the glider mantle looks just like the monster. So here's my impression. Caw-caw, caw-caw, I'm a flying wyvern. Caw-caw, caw-caw, I do ice damage and my ice affects your stamina. Caw-caw, caw-caw. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have a recommendation on something you'd like to see, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will get back to you in the next Monster Hunter video. Thank you. Peace.